Hey Happy Crew, HappiDaze here. In today's video we're going to go ahead and take on the latest Pirate Alliance Kizuna Clash. This one is god-awful, guys. I am sorry if you're a newer player. Like, Bandai has really went off their deep end on this Kizuna and made it super hard if you haven't pulled any of the latest units, which is kind of usual, but this super boss that they've had for this Kizuna takes it to a whole new level. So we're just going to do the top 3 bosses here, the mini bosses, up past level 30, so you can make sure these teams will last you for a while. For the teams, we'll look at the makeup first, and then we'll hop into the actual content, and we'll show you guys how to get through some teams. Now, I am assuming that you did pull the Vivi and Wapol, as well as the Bonney unit here as well. A lot of the other units in the teams are just kind of older rare recruits or legends, so you can kind of just use those to kind of get through. So on the strength mini boss, thing to keep in mind, or the really important supports on here, are really the Bellamy to help reduce some of the, I believe he does resilience and defense up. So yeah, he gets 2 turns of that, which is awesome. He fits super good on the Dofi. The Mr. 3 support on that I have here, basically just a rainbow shield. Death hits, it just lets you survive those death hits, so you don't have to kind of worry too much about that. So we have that on Sabo. And then lastly, we just have the Zoro unit on the Vivi and Wapol just to give us a little bit extra multiplier boost on the final stage. It's going to be tough if you don't have the Bonney unit here, just because you're going to have to replace her with someone who can resist Special Rewind, as well as get rid of Attack Down and some other nasty debuffs. So not impossible to replace her, but if you pulled her, it makes this a lot simpler. So that is the Strength team. Let's hop over to the Quick team. So what's really important here, once you get past level 30, is the additional 4 turns of Despair you get. So I have the ulti on the Kaido unit here to basically help us to get 2 turns of that taken care of. And then I have the Qual support on the Sabo here to basically give an extra 2 turns of Despair removal when you use his special. So not as much needed, a lot of older units here. I am using the Kaido just because he's able to, have the type of advantage there against the boss, but you could, of course, change that for any character who you can slot a support on who can get rid of 2 turns of Despair, and you'd be just fine there. In terms of the green team, this is surprisingly actually the easiest out of all of them, which I thought originally would be the hardest. Again, the Mr. 3 Miss Golden Week there to get the Rainbow Shield to help death hits. We have the Zoro to help out on the Roger League of Bond just to help us out there. So yeah, that's what the teams look like. So let's actually get into what it looks like in practice past level 30. So we're going to take on the Quick team first. For all of these, I'm using a friend captain, Wapol and Vivi. I just find it much easier to be able to use captains who align with your captain, because if you're trying to go for Morgan, for example, you might not have people who are out there, but if you at least have one of them, it's easy to just make sure you always have a friend captain of the same type, get those 2.5 times tickets, and just kind of go from there. So on here, what we're basically going to end up doing is first stage, we're just going to just quickly go in and kill them. Nothing kind of too crazy there. The second stage is where we start using a bunch of our specials. So let's just go ahead and kill these guys real quick. There we go. Turtles down. Use the super type and the special of the Vivi and Wapol there. And then we'll use the Kaido special. Gives a bunch of good orbs, which is perfect. We'll save the Shirishoshi for the last stage there, which just makes it much easier to do. There is the burn there. Like I said, we'll take care of that with the support of the Shirishoshi on the next stage there. There we go. Get some heals. Get rid of that nasty despair that you get there. Go ahead and use the Bonney, the Sabo. And then we'll go ahead and use the super type and the special of the friend captain Vivi and Wapol. We can even use the one at the bottom as well. And boom, just like that, get through. Not too many problems. Like I said, do a bunch of damage. Guessing you probably go maybe up to like level like 50 or 60 with this if you really want to go that high. I don't think a lot of people will, just because this is a much harder Kizuna than usual, it seems, based on the super boss. But if you choose to go that high, you have more than what you need to get there. So let's go ahead and take on the DEX team next. Again, we'll be using our friend Captain Vivi Wapol for all 3 of these battles. So the special thing to remember for this battle is you basically, on stage 1, you have to do the swap of the Railing Gaban to get Roger, get him in the captain slot, and that basically helps you for turn 2 where you get a nasty bind buff, but if you have obviously Roger as your captain, you don't have to worry about that at all. Works out really well, so that's what we're going to go ahead and do to take care of that. So we will switch Roger there. Nice easy kills. On stage 2, we're going to go ahead and use the swap there just to disable the captain switch, and then use the special of the Rayleigh Gaban. Gets rid of that nasty 30-hit barrier, which is just a pain to deal with. And then from there, it's just easy peasy, just killing Moria here. Now, a thing to note on the green version of the mini-boss is basically you have to kill him both on stage 3 and then as well as on the revive, so you have to be able to handle both of these. This is where that Bonney comes in clutch. You get some special rewind, but with Bonney's special, you basically get your specials back so that all your units are ready to go. And that's why she's kind of really critical for this content, and if you have her, it just makes these runs so much easier. You can use the verses of Shanks here, and then the special. Just going to skip. If you really want to, you can get excellent taps just to get more damage. Totally don't have to. Using the special of the Vivi and Wapol here, I'll swap them to the last position. And then it's just go ahead and attacking from that point forward. See, we have plenty of damage, more than enough, not even worried at all. And then on the revive, we'll just use the friend captain, Vivi, and Wapol, and it just makes it really easy. Get our attack buff back, and then just 2-tap, and you're able to easily kill Crocodile there, and boom, get to the DEX variation of that mini-boss. Alright, and for the last 30-plus fight, we're going to be doing, obviously, the Strength team. So let's just go ahead and get into that. So in here, the real critical units are, obviously, that Dofi Sugar unit is super critical just because their special allows you to get rid of some barriers, which is always a pain to deal with. Obviously, the Shiroshoshi and the Mancherry for this content is just fantastic with the amount of stuff that you can get rid of. It just makes it so much easier. So for stage 1, we're just going to go ahead and just tap through. Nothing special, just kill the turtles. Alright, we're going to go ahead and use the super type, and then the special of the Vivi Wapol, and then swap Sabo Koala and use their special, and then we'll be able to attack. So the Sabo and Koala really help get rid of the beneficial orbs there, or make them matching the debuff. It gets rid of that debuff, so it just makes it really easy to kind of get through here. And then we can just simply tap to get through. Boom, 2 hits, more than enough damage to kill Kuma. Get a lot of nasty debuffs there, but that's why we have the Shiroshoshi here to help get rid of all that for us. use the Bonney to get rid of the attack down. We're going to swap the Dofi and Sugar to get the additional damage. Even though we lose out on the type advantage there, you get the 1.5 damage, which just makes it a little bit better. Go ahead and use the super type and special of our friend Captain Vivi Wapol, and then our Vivi Wapol is ready again. So we'll just go ahead and use that special one more time. Why not? And boom. Just like that, you're able to get through. This probably won't last, you know, it definitely probably won't last into the 50s. So this team might have some reworking, might be some more specials and supports you can put on these units to kind of do some more damage. But at least for probably up to like 40, 45, you'll be probably more than good to go ahead and use that team to keep doing damage. So yeah, that is the 3 mini bosses. I'm probably not going to do any of the super boss battles just because, frankly, if you don't have the newest legends, like it's really hard. Not so much the DEX super boss, because you can go ahead and leverage the Shanks, the anniversary Shanks, and some of those units. I'm just quickly swipe over so you can see what team that I'm using is. But basically, as you can see, I pretty much copied both Toadski and Stump in terms of the teams that they're using. Obviously, for the DEX boss, it's a little bit easier. I mean, you do have to have the Rayleigh Roger Gabon and, you know, some of the anniversary Shanks as a friend captain. And of course the Luffy that you see down here as well. So you do have to have some units invested in there to really build this team out. But it's much more free-to-play friendly than, for example, this team, right? Where you have to have the Big Mom and Katakuri, you have to have the Kaido and King, and it has to be a crewmate as well as a friend captain, Kaido King. So it's not like you can even just use a friend captain and kind of get through there. So it's a giant pain for the strength bars, particularly for this Kizuna. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up today, but I do want to hear in the comments below how your Kizuna is going. You know, are you finding this absolutely ridiculously hard compared to previous Kizunas? I might actually put out a video of kind of what I think about the state of the game. I try to stay pretty positive most of the time, but some of the decisions that Bandai's been making recently have just been kind of mind-boggling, from, you know, longevity of the game and keeping people happy and keeping people involved, especially if you see the results of the Blitz battle, like, and even the TM. Like, not many people are doing these events, which is a kind of a big red flag, or should be a big red flag for Bandai. But I'm gonna end that rant here. I don't want to get into that right now, but thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe button, and again, let me know in the comments section below how your Kizuna is going so far. Have you got all your 3 evolution skulls from the final box to get the Zoro? Are you good to go, or are you still grinding away? Until next time, as always, be kind to each other.